It's a new year.
Let's go, y'all.
I'm the same motherfucker.
Welcome to the All Even Podcast.
It's a new year. I'm the same motherfucker.
You already know. Same motherfucker head.
Everybody want to be brand new. Not me, I'ma do what I do. Ain't changing shit but the year I'm in. Same dope ass nigga I always been. Oh.
It's a new year. Same me. Got a lot to discuss. We got NFL playoffs, NFC
I might change
championship,
my
AFC
clothes.
championship. Jeanie Bus losing her damn mind.
I might
Stearns
change
had
my
a week.
home.
What's going on with the
But as
Knicks?
for me,
Are the Warriors stupid or
I'm the
what?
same fly ass motherfucker that
A
y'all
lot of stuff
know.
going on, man. Jets watch. Let's talk about the Jets. Got some stuff to talk about with Matthew Stafford. But like, share, and subscribe. You can catch me on Instagram and X at All Even Podcast. You can catch me on TikTok at All Even Media. You listen to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. I'm all over the place. Go to YouTube, hit that subscribe button, like, share, and comment. Tell a friend and tell a friend because the page is growing. There's no Claw. There's no Jimmy. There's no Silent Assassin because she's on vacation. It's just me. And when it's just me, this show can be able to go off the rails. Honestly, I can just say what I want. You know, there's no Silent Assassin. Say, hey, might need to calm down there. I don't listen to those things. There's no Claw. There's none of that stuff. So what are we expecting? The weekend is almost upon us. I'm hearing that we're supposed to be getting some Russian blizzard. Fuck is going on? Like in New York, I seen pictures and videos of people diving out of their buildings, their apartment buildings in Russia. Talk about 3 stories. They jumping off into like 15 feet of snow. We not trying to have that type of shit in New York. Nah. No. We don't need that type of smoke out here. No. We can barely operate in like 12 inches. No. We don't need that at all. All right. But if it is coming, make sure that y'all get y'all groceries, y'all gas up because those gas lines might be crazy. The supermarket lines might be crazy. It's gonna be nuts. I'm gonna be in here watching his and hers with the wife. I don't care. Like I'm not doing nothing. So nobody better call me to do nothing. And Monday, I might not go to work either. You know what I'm saying? It's just the way it is. It's a built-in excuse. So let's go ahead and just get into it, man, because there's a lot to discuss, a lot of nuances, a lot of certain topics that need to be talked about in detail. The biggest thing for me outside of the NFL playoffs, obviously, is what the hell is going on with Jeanie Buss, the Buss family. Like this big report came out, this big story came out, and definitely want to get the writer's name correctly who actually wrote this piece. But just really interesting stuff, man. So it was Baxter Holmes that wrote this very detailed, well-written story about the Buss family and how things have eroded in regards to, you know, how the team was sold, the relationships with the siblings. And the biggest thing that I took away from that part of the article, right? Because there's a lot more to the story that I didn't really like. It was kind of baiting, still well written, but baiting, is that Jeanie really did not fuck with Joey and Jesse. Like, just because that they were like, you know, step brothers, you know what I'm saying? Like, had different mother, they were kind of treated like the bastard children. Not by everybody, I don't believe. just by Jeanie. And they talk about in the article that Jerry Buss and Joanne Buss had an agreement. She was like, "Yo, listen, don't have no kids out of wedlock. Just don't have no kids outside of this thing. Like, I mean, you can go out there and go do your thing, and you know what I'm saying. He's a rich man. He's out there partying, doing coke lines over girls' backs, like whatever it was Jerry Buss was doing. She was like, "Yo, listen, just don't have no kids, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like we good outside of that." And Jerry Buss was just like, "All right." Did he listen? No, he didn't listen at all. You know what I'm saying? He went ahead and had the two kids. And from that point on, I think there was just this tension, this heavy tension in the air, because you got these kids that are getting the time and the dad that the other children didn't get, the actual first kids, right? The first four of them just didn't get that time with Jerry. They didn't get that fatherly love or that attention that Joey and Jesse got. Jim was supposed to be the guy that led this franchise. And then Jerry had different plans and said, "Yo, I think Jeanie gonna have to take this shit over just because I don't trust Jim to be able to make the right decisions." Jerry Buss, passes away, and all hell breaks loose with the kids. And Jeanie Buss and Jim Buss go ahead and try to make this thing work. It didn't work. Jim was in charge, and then Jeanie did the coup. And who supported Jeanie in the coup? It was Joey and Jesse Buss. They backed their sister, saying, "Listen, she's always been nice to us. She's always supported us. She's always taken care of us. We got Jeannie's back. So whatever she needs, we got her." Fast forward into what's going on with the regime, with the Rob Pelinka, Magic Johnson stepping down. Rob Pelinka is now head of basketball operations. He's the GM. He's the president. He's in the circle of trust that Jeanie has assembled for herself, right? And the biggest thing for me is like, all right, you assemble this circle of trust. None of these people really have the great basketball IQ in mind that you need to be able to run a successful basketball front office, but you have them anyway. And LeBron James gets here. LeBron James goes ahead and saves the franchise. Can anybody dispute that? No. They didn't really have much success. And behind the scenes, things are turning, right? She's starting to feel the pressure. She doesn't really like the criticism that the front office is getting, all the decisions that were made, all the public backlash that the Lakers are receiving. And she starts to make this plan to be able to sell the team. And Joey and Jesse Buss was like, "Yo, we got this feeling that she might be selling this team. I can't pinpoint it. I don't have no evidence for sure, but I have a feeling that she's going to sell this shit." And 5 years later, what did she do? She sold it to Mark Walter. $10 billion. So the problem is that it's not the fact that they're not rich. Everybody got paid $500 billion, whatever it is, right? But it's how the deal went through. And this goes back to, I think it was either Joey or Jesse talking about with the whole Anthony Davis press conference that Rob Pelinka thanked this person, he thanked this person, he thanked this person. But Joey and Jesse Buss's name was not involved in that. And that kind of rubbed them the wrong way. Like, yo. So he went to Jeanie and was like, what's that about? And what did Jeanie say to Joey? She was just like, yo, Like y'all weren't even supposed, you weren't even supposed to be born. Like y'all were not a part of the agreement. Pop should have never had you. You should have never existed in this arena. I should not even be talking to you right now, bruh. He said, yo, yo, we're at the Anthony Davis press conference. What the F does this have to do with what I just said to you? Built up tension, animosity, resentment. So when the whole sale went down, you got Jeanie saying, I gotta find a way to get all of these motherfuckers out. Everybody got paid, but I don't want anybody here in control. And when Joey and Jesse started up their own marketing, I think it was the sports firm that they had. Oh, that didn't go over well. And they ended up getting terminated just like everybody else got terminated. And it's so sad that you have a family that this one Laker empire just was the split and caused such division. And it happens all the time. And that's why a lot of men or women that build these big, Fortune 500 companies or these huge businesses, and they have these kids, they sometimes decide to sell the business before it even gets to the point where they can't control it anymore. It's like, yo, nope. It's kind of just like, I think that if George Steinbrenner knew how Hal was gonna run the Yankees, I think George would have sold it. George would be like, you know what? Nah. I don't like the way I can see the way you're gonna do business, and I don't like the way you do business. Just like Jerry, it's just like what's his name? Jerry Jones. Can Stephen Jones handle the reins after Jerry passes? I don't think so. In fact, I think it might be even worse. So it might behoove Jerry Jones to sell the Cowboys before he kicks the bucket. Especially when you have kids that are jacking and jockeying for position. It's just pointless. And that's sad. I can't feel too bad for them just because they all made $500 billion. I'm not going to feel sorry for you. Are you crazy? But how it was done, it just makes Jeanie look like a snake. It makes her look conniving. It makes her look like she just double-crossed her younger siblings. For what? So you can stay on as acting governor? All because Mark Walter is one of those owners that just likes to play the back? He don't want to be on Front Street. He wants to own the thing, put the dollars on it, make sure you got all the right people running the organization, and hands off. But you were that thirsty for power that you decided to do this. That the Lakers brand was more important than family ties. That being the heir apparent to Jerry Buss's franchise and being able to run it like Jerry, that was more important to you than family. You see, it's very interesting that Jeanie doesn't have children. So you don't understand the feeling of being able to pass something on legacy-wise because you have nothing, you don't have that type of connection. So I think she looked at Joey and Jesse just as competition, like, you motherfuckers is just there. I don't necessarily care if you're here or not. You're going to get you a piece of the team, cool, but I don't want nothing to do with you. I want the Lakers. And I want to be the only one standing at the end. Seems pretty desperate and pretty sad. But that's not the part that bothered me. Ooh, part that bothered me at all. The part that bothered me is when they put the LeBron James factor into this actual story and article. For what? To be able to say that Jeanie Buss was frustrated that LeBron was named the savior of the franchise? That she was mad about LeBron not taking accountability for the Russell Westbrook trade? For the fact that LeBron should have been more grateful about the Lakers taking their 55th pick and drafting Bronny James? About her frustration about Clutch Sports having so much control over the franchise? All of those things are warranted. The Russell Westbrook trade that LeBron wanted was a fail. And for anybody that doesn't want to take accountability for that, shame on you. You want to go ahead and distance yourself from that, you got to take that loss, LeBron. But here's the other part of that. There was a president of basketball operations that made the deal. So if you felt that it was a bad deal, I don't care what LeBron wants. You tell him, no, this ain't good for the team. I don't think his game meshes with your game. And you might think that you have the best basketball IQ in all of basketball. You can't save that. That's not the type of basketball we want here. So no, we don't want Russ. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm talking about, is that you want to go ahead and blame LeBron for the Westbrook trade? Cool. But you also need to blame yourself. You should also blame yourself for being so fucking cheap that you don't sign back Alex Caruso because you were worried about budget. With the Lakers, listen to that. You could have signed him and still been under the apron or whatever the hell it was. You decided not to, and you kept, what's his name? Taylor Horton Tucker. That was your decision. So you literally broke up a competitive team and one of the best perimeter defenders, if not the best perimeter defender that the Lakers had at that time, for budgetary reasons. You're the Lakers. Budgetary reasons? Really? Now, here's the biggest part of it, though, right? And I know that she came out and said, "Oh, these reports are just, it doesn't make sense. Me and LeBron have a great relationship. I don't, I don't like things like this to try to, put a divide in our relationship. And it's been a great partnership. Cool, I get all that. I still have to break down the thing, though. I still have to get my point across about this article, because I think the article in itself, putting LeBron James in the article, was clickbait bullshit. Just to be able to get people to say, we don't care about the whole, LeBron said, ooh. It was a way to get more clicks and more impressions. I get it. But for you to be upset that LeBron, his ego was too great. It's LeBron James. You think that if Jordan came out of retirement and said, I wanted to play for the Los Angeles Lakers, that he wouldn't come with an ego? That if Kobe Bryant was still around and still could be able to play and said, I'm coming back out of retirement, man, I'm playing for the Lakers, that there's not an ego involved? Great players have egos, just like great owners also have egos. And you know who else has egos? Bad owners too. Bad owners that want credit for everything. It's just like Jerry Krause and the Chicago Bulls. People talk about the Bulls dynasty. They talk about Jordan. They talk about Pippen. They talk about how great this team was. And you got Jerry Krause's ass over there. Well, what about me? I'm the one that put it together. Always clamoring for approval. If you know you put it together, then what do you need the approval for? You know what the fuck you did. And let's keep it honest. LeBron James chose to come to the Lakers. The Lakers did not sell LeBron on, oh, come to LA. It's great here. Great history. Great lineage. Great, we'll be able to lay out the red carpet for you and everything is going to be great. You're going to be the guy. LeBron James had it in his mind from way back when they said 2017. I don't know if that's true. We're just going to use that as whatever it is. And he already picked the Lakers as his destination because he wanted to move to LA and he wanted to rebuild a dead franchise. And that's the part that I want to talk about. You want to go ahead and talk the Lakers up and say that the historic franchise? Yes, that is my franchise and I know how good they are. But what I also know is that from 2011 to 2017, the Lakers were garbage. They were the worst team in basketball, and it wasn't even close. Terrible players. The young players weren't developing. You had Julius Randle. You had Jordan Clarkson. You had Lonzo Ball. You had Brandon Ingram. You had some man named Larry Nance Jr. There was so many players that you had on this team. Good guys, you root for them. They were not winners. D'Angelo Russell, they're not winners. This team sucked. This team had one of the worst records in basketball. Dysfunctional front office. Jim and Jeanie fighting. They jockeying for position. Here comes the coup. You had Mike Brown coaching the team. You had Dan Toney coaching the team. You had Luke Walton coaching the team. You had so many different, it was a disaster. So for LeBron to say that I choose you guys, you fucking right he's the savior of your franchise. Because 2 years after signing on the dotted line for the Lakers won an NBA championship. But you want credit. Oh, well, we brought LeBron here. Like the Anthony Davis thing didn't happen because of LeBron and Clutch. That happened because of, what are we talking about here? And what is going to be the legacy of Jeanie Buss as owner of the Lakers? 7 out of 11 seasons with no playoffs. 1 championship. Dysfunction in your front office. You don't have public approval in regards to Laker fans. That's the legacy of Jeanie Buss. Doesn't sound too historic, does it? And that's why sometimes, if not most of the time, leaving something to your kids that you've spent your life building, they don't understand it. And even if they do understand it, they don't have the gumption to run it. They don't have what it takes to be able to build what you did. So am I upset with Jeanie Buss? I am not upset as a Laker fan. No, I'm not. I'm saddened for her. As much as I can be saddened for somebody that's worth over $500 million. To know that your legacy is attached to losing. Your legacy is attached to mistrust and paranoia in your front office. Your legacy is being attached to yes men that you ended up paying off. You are tighter with your inner circle than your own siblings. You were willing to throw them to the wolves. All for what? Self-preservation. There's no reason why the Lakers should not still be run by the Buss family in regards to the majority stakes of the team. They still have minority stakes. But incompetence, paranoia, ego, jealousy, that's what can rip up any franchise and any family. And Jeanie Buss should be fucking ashamed of herself, if true. Because any Laker fan who doesn't want to give LeBron his flowers in regards to, he did save this franchise. He did make this franchise a lot more palatable. People can say, yo, Lakers ain't too bad. I can see myself going there. For the prior 7 seasons, that wasn't the case. And that's the problem. Is that this delusion of grandeur to think that the Lakers were this powerhouse team that LeBron signed to because they were a powerhouse is grossly overstaken. Grossly mistaken. It's sad. It really is. That although they're sold, and Laker fans should be fucking happy that the next regime or next generation of front office staff and the organization should be a positive one. You still have this dark cloud of bullshit. All for greed. So, moving on. I've seen some rumblings about the Warriors. The Warriors making a trade for LeBron James, them wanting LeBron. Let me just talk about this right now, just to get it out of the way. The Warriors are done. And if anybody doesn't know that, well, this is breaking news to you. They're done. They've been done. That whole era is done. They're wasting Steph Curry's last few seasons in regards to being at the apex of his game. All because you wanted to try to keep the feeling alive, the same core. Let's keep Draymond. Poor Jimmy Butler goes down with a torn ACL. Listen, that's tough. But even before they made the deal, I said that's not a good deal for y'all to make. That's not a good it's not going to age well. Them keeping poor Jonathan Kuminga ransom on this team, sinking his trade value to the point where nobody fucking wants him. Not giving up any premium assets anyway. Yeah, we're going to give you about 2 second-round picks, bro. Hold those. Yo, are you shocked that nobody wants him? Are you shocked that nobody wants to give up top assets for Jonathan Kuminga? You sunk your player's own value. I'd be shocked if Steph Curry doesn't say, yo, if y'all don't figure it out, man, I need to get up out of here. I'm sure he doesn't want to do that, but what's the solution? This right now is done. Here's what they're thinking, according to the rumors out there, reports, that the Warriors are trying to trade for LeBron James. They're trying to trade for LeBron, and they're trying to sign Giannis, or trade for Giannis and sign LeBron, whichever combo it is. How you going to trade for Giannis? What assets you got? How you going to trade for LeBron? What assets do you have? What player on this team do you think the league is going to want? Yeah, we just going to take Kuminga for LeBron? You dumb? And that's why I asked, are the Warriors stupid or dumb? You saw what Trae Young got. They sold him for a bag of hot dogs and a gym bag. The assets are not there for certain guys. You don't have the assets to be able to pull off a LeBron James trade. And more importantly, I don't think he wants to go to the Warriors. Shock. Oh. Why the fuck would he lose? Why would he leave Luka to go to that old ass team? I got my issues with Luka, but it's better than that shit over there. So I don't know what the Warriors are smoking, but they need to stop. You need to go ahead and go try to get as much assets as possible. Trade Draymond Green to Mars. You trade off Kuminga. You trade off whoever the hell you got to trade off and see what you can be able to get in regards to putting your assets together, getting some good draft picks, and then drafting well and building this thing over. Tear it down. It's about time you tear it down. Stop trying to do these soft rebuilds and these soft revamps. It's done. You had a good run. It's been since 2014. Great run. Impressive. 4 championships. Pack that shit up. Go get a new plan. There's too many good teams in the West to think that you're going to be able to try to revamp on the fly and be competitive. It's over. Draymond Green is washed. Al Horford is 95 years old. Pujansky's pretty good. But that's not going to be enough. So you need to tear it down completely to the studs, to the struts, and all that other stuff. Rebuild it. And if that means that you have to say goodbye to Steph, thank you for the memories. No Golden State Warriors fan would be upset if Steph Curry asked for a trade right now. None. For what he's given this franchise, for the blood, the sweat, the tears, he almost gave his ankles in his career for this franchise. No Warriors fan would tell Steph F off. Why would they? But it's over. And stop having these delusions of grandeur. You're not getting LeBron. You're not getting Giannis. If you want Trae Young, you go get you want Ja Morant. He's out there. Go get him. Maybe Steve Kerr can whip his ass into shape. Fucking knucklehead. Outside of that, no, not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Moving on. What is the Knicks record right now? Because last time I checked, they don't look too good, man. Let's go ahead and check it. NBA standings. Man. 26-18, 3-7 in their last 10. They are still in the 3 seed. Celtics have overtaken them while the Pistons hold the number 1 seed. Raptors at 4, Sixers at 5, Cavs at 6, Magic at 7. Heat holding on to 8th right now. Those Knicks don't look too good. And I talked about how Karl Anthony Towns just doesn't fit. He's like the elephant in the room. He's the sore thumb. He's the the wet spot on the on the bed. He's the blotch on the carpet. He just doesn't fit. If you're trying to have a team of gritty guys that can be able to grind things out, that motherfucker doesn't fit the mold. So what do? You got to trade him. You got to see what offers are out there so you can be able to get up out of that contract. But here's the biggest problem that the Knicks have. Even if you do that, right? Even if you go ahead and you trade Karl-Anthony Towns, free up that spot, you go get yourself another big. Maybe it's a big rim running big, and now you have two of them with him, that person and Mitchell Robinson. Or you go get yourself another stretch 4, stretch 5 guy. Or you play small ball, whatever you do, right? That's not the problem. I can tell you what the problem is. The problem is Mike Brown. I remember when the Knicks hired Mike Brown after getting rid of Tom Thibodeau, which I believe that was the right move to make. But when they hired Mike Brown, I said, you went from Tom Thibodeau to Mike Brown, and you think that that's a good transition? That's a good lateral move? Mike Brown has never been a coach to be able to be really, really good with the X and O's. His offenses are very, very, very vanilla. But you know the biggest thing about Mike Brown is that his teams tend to not win the big games. Why is that? Because he has a little bit of Doc Rivers syndrome. Is that when the games get tight and they're more important and there's more on the line, Mike Brown turns into Mr. Potato Head and he just sits there clueless. You're never going to win with a Mike Brown. You're never going to win with a Karl-Anthony Towns. And when you put two of those factors on the same team, it's a recipe for disaster. Now, I'm not even trying to be mean. I want to see the Knicks do well. I picked the Knicks to be in the NBA Finals this year. I still have confidence and faith that they can be able to turn it around somehow, figure it out. The problem that I'm having is that you have Mike Brown as your head coach. That's a concern, bruh. If anybody doesn't realize that they don't realize what the slide is about, losers of 7 of your last 10. It's Mike Brown. It's that vanilla-ass offense. It's the fact that it was DOA hiring a guy like Mike Brown. And I understand that Knicks fans are always going to be supportive of whoever they bring in. They're always going to be like, yeah, we're going to rock with them, go Knicks, blah, blah. But sometimes you really got to question shit like, why the fuck did we hire him? He was in Sacramento, didn't do too bad, and then they realized, we got to get up out of him. Like, we got Doug Christie. We'd rather go with Doug Christie. See how that's working out over here. But for them to even make that decision, say we'd rather go with the unproven guy than the guy that has a track record of having multiple 60-plus win seasons, almost getting to the NBA Finals. Yeah, we'd rather take the rookie guy over him. And what do the Knicks do? We'll take him.
Dummy, yeah. Dummy, yeah.
Come on now. You gotta do better. People have to do better in regards to assessing and vetting what you actually need to be a winning franchise going forward. You see the Pistons, who they got as a coach? That's a dog. I never looked at Mike Brown as a dog because he's not. It's a nice guy. But is he a guy that can be able to have the respect and the attention of a bunch of veterans that are trying to figure out and try to get to an NBA Finals? I don't think so. So the Knicks have they have a myriad of issues. Can Jalen Brunson stay healthy? We don't know. Can Josh Hart stay healthy? Can he get back into rhythm? We don't know. Can Bridges be able to crack through that ceiling to be able to be a guy like a Chris Middleton, making clutch shots in the playoffs and making your stars being able to play the back a little bit? You don't know. Will Karl Anthony Towns ever grow a set? Don't know. Will Mitchell Robinson ever be healthy for one full season? We don't know. Too many question marks, and then you have Mr. Potato Head on the sidelines doing whatever the hell he's doing, not really understanding what the hell to do, not having bad rotations, vanilla offense, vanilla press conferences. It's not good. It's not good. Moving on. Oh yeah, I did have this thing that I wanted to play right here. Give me a second.
Again, real simple. You got 5 years to play 4. If you stay at the same school 4 years, we'll give you a 5th year. If your coach leaves or is fired, you can transfer without penalty. You can do it once. And if the coach is fired or leaves, you can end up doing it twice. But after that, you got to sit out. You transfer, but you got to sit out. Does anybody care what this is doing for 17 and 18-year-old American kids? Do you know what this opportunity has done for them and their families? There aren't going to be any high school kids. Who, other than dumb people like me, are going to recruit high school kids? I get so much satisfaction out of coaching young kids and seeing them grow and make it and their family life changes that I'm going to keep doing it. But why would anybody else, if you can get NBA players, G League players, guys that are 28 years old, guys from Europe, do we really know their transcript? Do we have somebody over there? Do we really know their birth certificate? Or don't we? And then, there's no. Look, Tommy Izzo, Mark Few, there are a bunch of us that are just, we got no rules. Why did they let that kid play? Tell us all. Here's what the reason. Then we'll all go get pros. We'll go find them. Here's my.
There you go. I'm sure if you haven't heard, there's a kid in the G League that he played with, I believe it was Alabama, got drafted in 2023, been in the G League, has 2 years left of eligibility, applied for reinstatement, and got approved, and now he's going back to Alabama. We're talking about a 26, 27-year-old kid going back to college. For what? Just because he can be able to get NIL money. This shit is a fucking zoo. It is a disaster. When you have coaches like Calipari that are literally saying, yo, just let us know what the actual bylaws are, what the rules are, and we'll just stop recruiting high school players. We'll just start picking guys out of the Euro League. We'll start picking guys off the street. Hey, you played 1 year of college. You're 33 years old. You want to come back to school? The fuck are we doing? And for anybody to say that this is okay, that, and I'm not saying that the money in itself is bad. Yes, the athletes deserve to get paid, but there was no structure. There's no fucking parameters that came in. It's just a fucking wild, wild west. You know how many head coaches and assistant coaches I've spoken to that can't stand NIL, that can't stand the structure of NCAA right now, that are frustrated, that want to actually quit and resign, but they can't just because they got to feed their families and there's no other option for them right now. They are miserable. This is a disgrace of what they have done to collegiate sports. But hey, you get what you ask for, right? Everybody wanted this. And because of that, you're always going to have smarter people out there that can be able to bend the rules to their liking. Oh, well, we didn't expect the 28-year-olds to come back to school. Should have tightened up your bylaws. Should have tightened up your actual restrictions. You should have tightened up your structure. But instead, it's a fucking free-for-all, and nobody really cares about college basketball right now. It's a disgrace. I grew up a Duke fan my entire life. I've watched great Duke teams from Trajan Langdon to Shane Battier. All of these great teams, John Shire, Nolan Smith, all these great players, these great teams that were assembled through through recruiting freshmen, having them build themselves up, work through the actual team, work through the rotation, become starters, become everyday players, become stars, become All-Americans. You're taking that away from kids now. You're taking that away from an 18-year-old kid that has dreams of playing at Duke or dreams of playing at Carolina. And when he gets there, there's some dude that looks like he got 9 kids on the fucking team. And because this kid is not ready to play, he's not going to get an opportunity. They're going to give it to the grown-ass guy with 9 kids. The fuck are we doing? You think Coach K retired because he couldn't coach anymore? You really believe that? You think that Nick Saban stepped down and retired because he couldn't coach anymore? You really believe that? These people step down because it's enough. Roy Williams, they saw the play and was like, I don't want to be a part of that shit. So I would love to know when the NCAA is going to wake up, when somebody's going to be in there and come in there and say, all right, we had enough of this shit. We're going to rewrite this whole garbage. We're not taking NIL away, but we're going to rewrite it. Enough's enough. It has destroyed the game. I can't even watch Duke games anymore. And we got the Boozer kid over there who's really good. Duke is playing really well. I can't watch it anymore. My love for college basketball has died because they killed it. Moving on. NFC, AFC championship. How are we feeling? Because as a Jets fan, it pains me to see the Patriots in the AFC championship game. It does. It pains me to see the Patriots right back in a position that they're going to be able to compete for championships down the road. It pains me. I ain't going to knock them. I ain't going to hate them, but it pains me. And the fact that Bo Nix broke his ankle last week in a win. Who are they turning to this week? Jarrett Stidham. And who did Jared Stidham play for? That's right, the New England Patriots. So there's always storyline and intrigue here, isn't it? Wouldn't it be funny if Jared Stidham plays the game of his life? It ends up getting to the Super Bowl, possibly may win the Super Bowl. Very Nick Foles like. Carson Wentz was the, maybe the MVP front runner or runner up to the MVP. He's playing great. The Eagles are flying high and tears his ACL. Nick Foles steps in and wins the Super Bowl. So it's not impossible. It's not impossible to be able to have a backup do some special things when called upon. Hell, I'm looking forward to it. I need that shit to happen. Just because I can't stomach another Patriots Super Bowl. Not right now. Give it 6 years or so, y'all could be able to go ahead and hoist another one. Not right now. So who I got winning the game? Broncos. Jared Stidham's going to have the game of his life. Cap Rooney style. Shane Falco style. Damn. Just frustrating. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm going to say about that game because I'm just mad. NFC Championship. Seahawks, Rams. You can't get any better than this. Sam Darnold. I am rooting for this guy so much. Like, this is one of those games where if any team wins for me personally, I'm on cloud nine. I'm a fan of the Rams, and I'm a fan of Sam Darnold. Two very well-coached teams. Seattle has a great defense. We know what the Rams look like offensively. We know that Matthew Stafford is probably the front runner for the MVP and probably will win it. But who do I got winning the game? If I got to pick one. You cannot count out Matthew Stafford just because he's been there before. He understands the importance of the game. He understands the gravity of the situation. Sam Darnold does not, but Sam Darnold is Mr. Cool. You can see that he's learned a lot from the last playoff run of last year. Clean up those mistakes. So I got the Rams. I got the Rams winning. 27-20 Rams. Sort of a low-scoring game, but I just think that Matthew Stafford, he just has a flair for the dramatic. He really does. That is a guy that when he's locked in and he has his cadences, he's understanding what the defense is giving him, and he's just pinpointing that ball wherever he wants to. Matthew Stafford is virtually unstoppable. He really is. Now for bigger pressing news, though. I think if Matt Stafford wins the MVP, which I think he will, and I think if Matt Stafford gets to another Super Bowl and wins that Super Bowl, I'm officially putting Matthew Stafford in the top 10 of greatest quarterbacks of all time. Whoever you got in there, you need to go take somebody out and put Matthew Stafford in. Whether it's Johnny Unitas, you get him, back him the fuck up and get him out of there, right? If it's Drew Brees, I think Matthew Stafford is better than Drew Brees. He belongs in there. Very great career. What he did with Detroit alone just gives you more kudos. Got to the Rams, won a Super Bowl. Now they're back on the verge of another one. Greatness is not defined by where you get drafted. It's about what you do when you get there. A lot of people keep worrying about where guys get number one pick. Yeah, who gives a flying fuck about where you're drafted? It's about what you do when your name is called, when your opportunity presents itself. What do you do? And Matthew Stafford, every time his opportunity presented itself, a new opportunity, he seized it. Oh, just bringing in this kid Megatron. All right, we're gonna figure it out. Yeah, we're the laughing stock of the league, but not for long. Matthew Stafford is a top 10 all-time quarterback. He is. Arm talent, numbers, the statistics. If he gets to 2 Super Bowls, how can you deny him? He's better than Eli, and Eli's not in the top 10. And again, like I said, you can be able to compare him with the Drew Brees. I would take Drew. Yes, Drew Brees is the most accurate quarterback in NFL history. We understand that. I'd still put Stafford over him, though. So, lots on the line for NFL championship weekend. I can't wait. Moving on. Jets watch. Not much to Jets watch this week outside of, the reports that I saw coming out was just like, yo, they got their two most, the two top candidates for defensive coordinator. I'm hearing that the rumors are that those two top candidates said, nah, I'm good, bro. They don't even want the job. They don't even want to interview for the job. Has things gotten that bad? And it got nothing to do. This has nothing to do with Aaron Glenn. Like, everybody keeps putting this on Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn is such a terrible coach that nobody wants to come here. The Jets were fucking terrible before Aaron Glenn got here. You remember a guy named Adam Gase? Remember him? No? Okay. The Jets have been fucking bad. They've been a laughing stock. They've been a disgrace. So I don't know how much I believe these rumors or reports or whatever it is, but I can't deny them. How can you deny them? What are they going to do with the number 2 pick? Are they going to trade back? Are they going to take a defensive back? Are they going to take a defensive end? They're going to take a linebacker? What are they doing? What is the mold of this team? What is the direction? So if they can't find a good, reputable, respected defensive coordinator to be able to try to put this thing together, then now Aaron Glenn has to make a decision, doesn't he? If you can't find somebody who's up to snuff to be able to take the position and make it their own and build this defense the way they want to, then you need to do it. Wasn't that your job in Detroit? Isn't that what you hung your hat on? So instead of you being the head coach and trying to figure all this stuff out, now you got to do double duty. You call the defensive plays. Because we damn sure not going to have some bum-ass defensive coordinator that's not up to snuff come in here and shit the bed again. You need to make sure you have somebody that's actually up for the job that can be able to do it, that understands personnel and understands what schemes and what formation is best for their personnel. And if they don't understand that, if they can't figure that out, then you fucking do it. You're Mr. Moxie anyway. You would like to puff up your chest and like to kick people out of meetings 5 minutes in, maybe less. You want to go ahead and have snarky press conference interviews. You do it. And let's see how much you can be able to build this team yourself. I've always said that, look, I'm a supporter. I'm not going to kick Aaron Glenn's back in year one. I'm gonna give him a chance to be able to redeem himself. Especially because he's a black man as well. I'm not gonna kick it back in, bro. But what I will say is that you put yourself in this hole, make sure you find a way to dig yourself out of it. So if you got to be the one to be able to call plays and try to figure that out, go ahead and do that, bruh. While us Jet fans here, we'll just sit back and watch. Because most Jet fans want to see you fail. I don't. I actually want to see you succeed. But you got to make sure that you do it the right way and make sure that you're hiring the right people to be able to be successful. Instead of being a fucking jackass and thinking that you can be able to just talk to people the way you want to and kick this person out and disrespect this fucking Hall of Famer. You can do that, yeah. When you have carte blanche in your organization, you ain't got that, bruh. Ain't not even dry yet. Where they can be able to look at you one day and say, you know what? Not for me. Gonna show them the fucking door. Crazy. Life as a Jets fan. Moving on to my irrelevant news of the week.
You gotta be kidding me. I mean, how do you watch this? I mean, yeah, they stink.
Every week we go ahead and we talk about what's happening. Let's see what we got here for our irrelevant news of the week. Give me a second. I found that. Where's that article? Here we go. All right. McDonald's worker, 19, arrested on suspicion of double charging customers and funneling nearly $700 to his personal account. How the fuck did this? Armand, what's up, man? What's up? What's going on? I'm about to hit the Mets in a minute. 19-year-old McDonald's worker Giovanni Primo Blount was arrested on Sunday, January 18th, and charged with fraudulent use of or possession of identifying information. Authorities claim he would process legitimate customer payments at McDonald's when he worked and then tap their cards on a personal device, fraudulently charging an additional $10 to $20 per transaction. That is crazy. Dude banked out. How much nearly $700. So you went to jail and got arrested for $700, my man. $700. But again, they probably wasn't paying enough money, and that those staff lunches weren't enough. Would you gonna give him a small fry and a fucking burger? You think that's enough for him? You see how big this dude is? This dude is big. He don't care about that. He want 2 staff lunches, and if you're not giving him, now he gotta go steal from them. Now he gotta go steal from the customers. Are you kidding me? Yo, what's going on with people, man? People are fucking insane. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Let's see what else we got here. Next story. Oh, this is a nice one. Howard University officially renames its College of Fine Arts to Chadwick A. Boseman College of Fine Arts. That's respect. Chadwick was just such a great actor, man. So crazy that it's almost 6 years since he's gone. 6 years since Kobe's gone. Like, so many people that have they're not here anymore, that were just great artists and great pillars of our society and stood up for the beauty of it, man. And they're all gone. Not all gone, but you know what I mean. It's sad, man. So I like the fact that Howard stepped up and put his name on something, because you know, when you have somebody as great as Chadwick, man, like he needs to be remembered, he needs to be honored, he needs to be celebrated, and shouts to Howard University for that. Next, we have this crazy chick right here. Woman sparks debate after revealing she freeze dries her dog following its death to help cope with grief. What is happening here?
Well, it's officially been 1 year since baby passed away, and I wanted to talk about his freeze drying process. So this is baby. If you didn't know, so this is baby. He passed away November 6th of 2024.
Yo, she freeze
It's
dried
November
the fucking
15th
dog.
of 2025. So it's officially been 1 year. And I chose to get him freeze dry. And I feel like it's kind of taboo. Like, not a lot of people do that with their animals. Some people are very uncomfortable with that, especially knowing that that's like their actual animal just chilling in their house. But that is something that I feel like helps me with my grief, and it's been able to help me kind of move on from his passing. So if you know, he did have a tumor on him, a very, very large tumor on him that was
My baby, you're my baby. Say,
Yo, these people are. Oh man, are we in a society where we can't call people crazy anymore? Like, is that like too offensive where you can't say, yo, you're batshit fucking crazy, and you need to be like evaluated, or you need to go see somebody? You don't freeze dry the dog. So that means that anybody that she dates, you better know the story of that dog that's in that corner. Like, you, what? You imagine, and imagine you don't look that bad neither. So somebody gonna be like, oh, she bad. Meet her in the club, meet her in the bar or something, and get to her crib and you see this dog that probably you say, oh, is that a nice statue? Oh, no, that's my dog that passed. Oh, okay, you taxidermied it. Okay, cool. I mean, it's kind of weird, but there's a lot of people that do taxidermy shit. Nah, I didn't taxidermy him at all. Freeze dried him. So if you're somebody who's her significant other, listen, don't get too attached to her, because if she falls in love with you, she gonna be like, yo, I need to freeze dry. I need to freeze dry you too. I've never heard of anybody freeze drying a fucking animal. Where are we? Where are we? All right, exactly. I would run out the door. Absolutely. And I would take the freeze-dried dog with I'd take the freeze-dried dog with me and save it. Are you crazy? And then people are gonna look at her like, yeah, that's such a heartwarming story. Yeah. Man, you crazy. That's what somebody needs to tell you. You're fucking crazy. Look, girl. Thank you for sharing your story, but I don't know if anybody's ever said this to you, but you're fucking crazy. And you need to put the freeze-dried dog down and go check yourself into a facility somewhere. Now, you cope with having a dead dog over a year freeze-dried in your house. Got it. Moving on. What is the next story we have? Oh, this is a good one. 22-year-old OnlyFans model got a nose job, so her future kids will inherit her new nose, not her ugly nose. It gets worse by the day. We are in a society full of fucking dummies.
Dummy, yeah.
What else is there to say? You got a nose job because you want your kids to inherit the new nose. So you have no idea what genetics means. And then you're supposed to just sit back and just listen and don't judge. And that's the part that bothers me, right? You listen, but you don't judge. How the fuck can you be able to sit back and not judge these people? You're stupid. And it's okay. Not everybody in the world is going to be smart, that has a high IQ, that can be able to have common sense, that can be able to critically think. We're all different. And if we all embrace what we are, if you're an idiot, embrace it. If you're one of those aluminum hat motherfuckers, embrace it. There's a community out there for you. Conspiracy theorists, embrace it. But just don't mingle with people that have common sense. Don't try to tell me that the sky is blue when it's not, or the sky is red when it's not, or the earth is flat and all this dumb shit. And mind you, I'm over here clowning this bitch, right? But she's probably making more money than everybody I know combined in a month. That's the crazy part, is that when you look a certain way, you can be able to be as dumb as you want to be, and it doesn't fucking matter, right? American capitalism. Gotta love it. Moving on. Oh, this is a good one. Matt Damon says Netflix films have to reiterate the plot 3 to 4 times in a dialogue because people are on their phones. I never thought that we would get to a point in society where we're watching a movie and you're still on your phone. How does that even work? How can you understand what's going on? How are you going to watch the scenes and understand everything that's happening if you're on your fucking phone? To the point where, so now actors and now Netflix, they got to go and dumb down the dialogue just so you can follow along. We are living in idiocracy right now. Social media and deep fakes are going to be the end of our fucking society. I'm telling you right now, we are getting dumber by the minute. We have no attention spans. We can't sit still. Everybody and their mama has ADHD. But again, can't call people out on it. Can't tell them how stupid they are. All because we live in a society that that person can be whatever they want to be. Okay. All that stuff is fine in regards to you wanting to change yourself, but stupid is as stupid does. Like, if you're dumb, you're dumb. And it's all right. But just embrace it. And put the phones down when you're watching TV. Like, really? Every time I'm watching a movie with my wife, phone goes down because I'm trying to focus and watch the movie and I'm in the plot. And I'll go ahead and look to my left and she's on her phone. Oh, I got to do something. I'm like, well, if you got to do something, why the fuck did you want to watch the movie? I don't understand it. Then don't watch the movie then. If you're going to be on your phone and you're that busy, you want to doom scroll, and do that then for the next 3 to 4 hours. Don't bother me and try to watch this movie. What are we talking about? Moving on. Where's the last one here? See if I can find that. I think it was about Sinners. Yes. Shouts to Sinners, man, for the most nominations of all time. Such a great movie. Anybody who hasn't watched Sinners, please go watch it. I heard that, I don't know if it's true, but rumors are that they're heading back to the theaters for, a limited amount of time, just because it was that good. I watched that movie like 15, 20 times, man. Every time I watch it, it just, you appreciate just the structure of the film, the dialogue. Like, dialogue is everything in a film, man. Like, I don't know if everybody feels the same way in regards to like certain things, but like, you got to make sure that you have great dialogue. You got to make sure that you have that great plot to be able to lead up to whatever the end result is of the movie, the conclusion of the film. Like, you need a good subplot, you need a good dialogue, good script, people that can be able to deliver it. And Michael B. Jordan did his thing. Haley Steinfeld did her thing. Like, it was such a good movie, man, that anybody who thought otherwise, I don't know what the fuck you watching. And I don't know what the fuck you were expecting. I remember when I watched it, the first few minutes of it, or even like the first hour, once it started to get interesting, I was like, oh, this is kind of like an updated From Dusk Till Dawn. I love that fucking movie. You know what I mean? Like, it's a cult classic for a reason. Just because it just, the way it flowed, the way, the dialogue was, the way guys, the character development, everything in that movie was great, and you saw that in Sinners. So shouts to Ryan Coogler, man, Michael B. Jordan, everybody involved with that film. Just a great piece of business, and I'm hoping that he continues to make great films, man. Continues to impress and achieve greatness, because they deserve it. And I love when a black film gets the notoriety that it deserves. You know what I'm saying? So shouts to them. That is my irrelevant news of the week.
You got to be kidding me. I mean, how do you watch the? They stink.
All right, so got my hat on. You already know what it is. What a busy week for the New York Mets. So anybody who's a Met fan, they want to go ahead and start passing this along to people and get more people in here, cool. If not, then it's all good. But what a week for the New York Mets. I've been telling everybody, and shouts to Tom Greer. We do Queens Get the Money. We have gone through a ebbs and flows of emotions. Like, me personally, I was just like, yo, F Stearns, F Cohen, I don't like what's going on. I don't like the direction of the team. I wasn't mad about Pete Alonso, really. I was just like, damn, you didn't even offer him a contract. I was mad about Diaz, still pretty mad about Diaz. But what a pivot, right? To be able to get the guys that we've gotten, like Kyle Tucker, that was disappointing. But I was just like, fuck Kyle Tucker. Like, you know what I'm saying? If he wants to go ahead and go play for the Dodgers, then so what? You know what I mean? So what? Not landing Cody Bellinger, also a big loss. But it's just like, it's cool. But we got Bo Bichette. I was just like, Bo Bichette? Really? And then you trade for Luis Robert. Okay. I like that. I like the upside for the kid. Love the defensive potential. Love the defensive. He's a Gold Glove center fielder. He's great. And we started to feel good about ourselves. And then we're just like, all right, who else are we gonna get? David Stearns was talking like, yeah, I definitely want another pitcher, man. Definitely still looking in the pitching market to see who we can be able to grab. So everybody's like, Framber Valdez, maybe Zach Gallen, somebody like that. We were always talking about Peralta, but what was gonna be the package for Peralta? You got people, let's shoot for the moon. Let's go, Tarek Skubal. And then we get the announcement. Freddie Peralta's on his way to Queens. When that happened, I was like, yo, all right. Everybody who denied Stearns, who was mad, y'all motherfuckers need to apologize now because the man is cooking. Like we said it on Queens Get the Money. Let the offseason play out. If you go into spring training and the team is still not good, you have every right to be able to shit on David Stearns. You have every right to be frustrated with Steve Cohen. But you have to allow him up to spring training to see what is going on with this team. David Stearns has completely revamped this team in one offseason. That is very hard to do. To be able to take 4 of your pillar players and say bye-bye. McNeil, Nimmo, Alonzo, Diaz. And say bye-bye. That takes a lot to do. That takes foresight and balls and moxie. Let's see here. Per Hector Gomez, the Mets have interest in Jose Quintana. You know what it is, Armand? I am not a big Hector Gomez guy. Yeah, exactly. Take it with a grain of salt. I'm gonna wait till I hear from Jeff Passan or Will Salmon or somebody like that. You know what I mean? Ken Rosenthal, but like, I don't listen to no damn Hector Gomez. Yep. All the Stearns haters need to get on their knees. I don't know if they're gonna go that crazy, but they definitely need to apologize. They traded Cash to the Twins for, I seen that too. Good move, man. Versatile defender, can be able to play the infield and some outfield too. Not a great hitter, but you can be able to use him as an additional defensive guy to be able to plug a hole here and there. So he's building depth and doing really, really good stuff, man. Like as a Met fan, I think if we get one more bat or one more pitcher, I'm all right. One more bat, one more quality bat, and one more decent pitcher. Like if you bring in a Griffin Canning, Quintana, somebody like that, then cool. You bring in another bat that is like a medium bat, somebody who's not a crazy star, but somebody who can be able to be very serviceable. You can be able to do that, then now you cooking with grease. You know what I'm saying? So I would love to still see that because we were in on Tucker, we were in on Bellinger, which means that they're still in on trying to acquire an outfielder. And if you can be able to do that, now you give yourselves a lot more options to be able to deal. So let's talk about the deal in regards to what Freddie Peralta, brings to the table. This is a guy that, throws mid-90s, 95, can hit 97 on the gun. Velocity continues to tick up as he gets older. Had a 2.70 ERA last year, won 17 games. I think he had over 200 innings, I believe, or close to it. This is a guy that, he has a bulldog mentality, and that's what you want. He's one of the best pitchers, if not, top 5 pitchers in the league, right? So getting a guy like this and having to give up a guy like Brandon Sproul, who's very close to the major leagues, right? He's right there on the cusp. He's going to be right there in the Brewers starting rotation, I'm sure. Jet Williams has been in our organization for a while, was not a David Stearns prospect. So he didn't have the affinity for him that others might have had for him. The fact that he's very, very short. He's about 5'6". I don't even know if you can call him 5'7". If you want to call him 5'7", cool. But there was just no path for Jet Williams to be able to get on this team. He's not going to shortstop. He's not going to third. Right now, there's a block for him at center field. There was just nowhere for him to go, and you have to give to get. Right? You have to give to get. Could you, for Met fans out there complaining, oh my God, we gave up Jet Williams, we gave up Brandon Sprout. What the fuck did you think that you would have to give up for a Tarek Skubal for a rental? It would have to be way more than that. So let's just be happy that Jonah Tong is still here AJ Ewing is still here, because as good as Jet Williams is, give me an AJ Ewing that's better. For Jet Williams, AJ Ewing is better. For Brandon Sproat, Jonah Tong's better. He has more upside, higher ceiling, higher floor. So all of those things is like, did we really give up much to get him? That's debatable. You got to go ahead and it's all about perspective. Do I think that Brandon Sproat can be a good pitcher for the next decade? Absolutely. Can he be one of the best pitchers in all of baseball? Absolutely. Have we seen this backfire on us before, where we just allow guys like Zach Wheeler to just leave and not offer him a contract, and then he becomes one of the best pitchers in baseball? Of course. Can this backfire like how it did with Pete Crow Armstrong? Of course. Of course. But you have to take the risk when you're a team that goes all in. And the Mets are all in. They want to win. And for every Met fan out there that said, they're punting the season, they don't even care about 2026. There's no way you can be able to punt your season with a payroll at that time that was like $250 million. I've never heard any team punt a season with a $250 million payroll. So come on now. David Stearns deserves a lot of credit. Obviously, you have some fans, well, I got to see if he makes the playoffs. Okay, so now you're kicking the can down the road. Now you're moving the goalposts. First it was, who is he signing? Are we going to get anybody? He gets all of these fucking players. And now, we got to make the playoffs, obviously. Obviously, that's the plan and that's the goal, to be able to be a playoff contender consistently year in and year out. But in order to do that, you need good players to do so. And newsflash, I'm not saying that Pete Alonso, Brandon Nimmo, Jeff McNeil, all of these guys weren't good players. But here's the real issue, is that these guys were losers. And what we call them is lovable losers. They were our losers. That's why we're so personal with them. Those are our losers. We want them here. It's about this right here. Any Met fan that's watching this stream right here, this is what it's about. It got nothing to do with the back of the fucking jersey. Whoever's in this uniform is going to get my respect and is going to get my support. I haven't seen a consistent winner since I've been alive. I would love to see the Mets in the playoffs for 5 straight years. Then we can worry about trying to get World Series trophies and shit. But can we at least be in the mix? You can't win it if you're not in the mix. It says per spot track in their system, a Freddie Peralta extension could look like 5 years, $130 million. So what does that work out per year? What is that? Is that let me see. It's a little under 30 million, right? Let's see, what is that? 5 years, 130. 31, 5 by 5. So 26.2. So you think that he can be able to, he's gonna settle for a $26.2 million AAV? I don't know, man. I don't know if that gets it done. For a guy that's making $8 million, I don't know, Armand. I like that number. I'd be comfortable with a number like that, especially for 5 or 6 years. But for me, it looks like it might be north of 30 million. Not like too much over that, because you got to understand, Minaya is making $25 million. So we're trying to say that Peralta is worth $1.2 million more. I think Peralta is going to have to get a little bit more than that. But it all depends on how he acclimates in New York. Is he going to be able to acclimate in New York? Is he going to have the success that he had in Milwaukee? Can he handle the big stage? Yeah, I agree with that. I think, 5 years or 150 makes a lot more sense, right? That to me is a reasonable contract. No opt-outs, straight 5-year deal. And go from there. I think that's reasonable. I think if they offered him a deal like that right now, I don't think that that's a bad deal, even if he's a guy that is not a sub-2 ERA guy. Peralta is more of a guy that is like 3.3, 3.4 ERA. Expected ERAs are always pretty true to what his real life ERAs is. You know what I'm saying? So am I going to be mad if the Mets go ahead and sign him, give him an extension worth $150 million over 5 years? Absolutely not. He's a guy that I think has earned it. For a guy that hit as good as he is, making only $8 million a year. I mean, come on now. It's a no-brainer that they have to go ahead and at least give him a $30 million contract. So what's next for the Mets? Can they go out and go get themselves another outfielder? Who are we thinking about? I think Michael Conforto's out there. Harrison Bader, I don't want Harrison Bader at all. I'm not a Bader fan. I understand that he made some changes to his swing, but no, I'm good. Heard about Stephen Kwan being available. We'll see about that. So I don't know. I don't know where they go. I really don't know what the options are if they're going to go ahead and go into the trade market. But as a Met fan, I am fucking excited about David Stearns or what he's put together. Like it's just remarkable. It's impressive. And shouts to all the Met fans out there that like stayed the course, right? They're like, listen, man, I trust Stearns. I'm gonna go ahead and just sit back and just see how it goes, man. Like I had the emotional instant reactions when things happen, but I've always, since that time, I've turned the page pretty quickly and said, listen, let's get to work, man. Let's rock out. You know what I'm saying? Like let's be able to build this thing and see how we can be able to compete in the National League, win our division, get to the playoffs, and see what the hell happens. Because baseball is a funny sport, man. Baseball is not one on paper. Just because we have a good team, just because the Dodgers have a good team, don't mean that the Dodgers are going to win the World Series again. Like everybody needs to realize that sports is very, very weird. And there's a lot that goes into it. Yes, you need talent. Yes, you need timing. Yes, you need luck. But there's so many different variables that makes a successful team and have a successful season. So, I want to see it happen. I want to see the ball rolled out there. I want to see guys play ball. I want to see how it unfolds. I'm not crowning the motherfuckers the champions yet. I want to see what happens. You know what I'm saying? So let me see. You posted the idea for the outfield. Let me see. I think I missed that. Move Robert to the left field. I'm telling. I don't like Bader, man. I'm not a Bader fan. I'm sorry. I don't like it. Ben start AAA. Yeah, I mean, look, I would love for Benz to start, in the minors and then come up, give him another month or two. But I don't know. I don't know if that happens, man. We'll see what happens. If they sign Bader, I'm not gonna be happy about it, but I'm not gonna be super upset because it's another quality defender, another quality bat, I guess. So can't be wrong. Can't be mad at that, depending on how much he actually gets on the open market. I don't even know what his market is, if he even has a market right now. Things have been quiet with a lot of teams. A lot of teams are keeping it to the vest. And to be honest with you, I don't hate that. I don't hate the fact that, you're not seeing a lot of leaks that are coming out there, because at the end of the day, man, like this thing is getting really competitive with a lot of teams like the Phillies and the Dodgers and the Mets. And, so they want to keep things as tight to the vest as possible. So not really too mad about that. We'll see what happens. But shouts to the Mets, shouts to David Stearns for having such a big week, man. Like this is what Met fans have been clamoring for. and I'm so happy that we ended up getting here. So shouts to them, man. Shouts to them. This now it's time for the end of the show. Every week we go ahead and pick our dummy of the week.
Dummy, yeah.
So there's nobody else here to be able to talk about their dummy. So I will go ahead and talk about mine. Dummy of the week is going to go to Bills owner Terry Pegula. Terry Pegula gets my dummy.
Can I interrupt? I'll address the Keon situation. The coaching staff pushed to draft Keon. I'm not saying Brandon wouldn't have drafted him, but he wasn't his next choice. That was Brandon being a team player and taking advice of his coaching staff, who felt strongly about the player. And, he's taken, for some reason, heat over it and not saying a word about it. But I'm here to tell you the true story.
My man, nobody asked you. Nobody asked for fucking Terry Pegula's opinion about Keon. The dude is still on the team. The kid is still on the team trying to figure out his career and trying to see how he incorporates and fits in. And you want to talk about that motherfuckers in Warner? Like, what are you talking about? This is dementia in real fucking time. It's bad enough I see it with the orange fuck that's in the White House, but I gotta see it with this dude too. The fuck are we talking about? Like, this is what makes people so disconnected from ownership, from teams, because you got guys that talk about people like that, like he's not a person. And then I seen Barstool, they posted some shit about Keon. Like, bro, the guy is a funny kid. He likes to have fun. He's not stupid. He's not somebody who's low IQ. So why would you volunteer and bring his name up? Nobody asked you about him. Absolutely. Terry Pegula learned from Woody Johnson to trash a player on his own team. Absolutely. Disaster in Buffalo. Don't be surprised if the Bills go back to being the fucking Bills. We got to remember, right? As a Jets fan, we got more championships than the Buffalo Bills. How about those apples? We got more championships than the Buffalo Bills. So for everybody that thinks that that's not a thing, that don't make sense, it does make sense. Because at the end of the day, Bill's gonna bill. You can be able to put sprinkles on shit for so long and try to get away with it, and people over there eating this shit sprinkles, but it's still not ice cream. The Bills are the Bills. We know what Josh Allen is at this point. Doesn't get the criticism that he deserves. And why is that? I wonder. So Terry Pegula, you get the
Dummy, yeah.
because nobody asked you. And you should be lucky to have a kid like Keon Coleman. Bright, vibrant, wants to be better, continues to work hard. But you go ahead and throw him under the bus for what? It's been a bad couple weeks for the Bills. I seen a rumor that they're even thinking about taking back Coach Ozempic. Take him and see what happens. Yeah, I hope so too. I hope Keon gets another team. Absolutely. I would never play for the Bills again if I was Keon. And out the door, I would go tell Terry Pegula to go fuck himself. You haven't won nothing. You haven't got to a Super Bowl with this regime. You're a failure. And you can only get away with this shit with Bills Mafia because they just accept it. They accept the mediocrity of you keeping Sean McDermott on this team for how long? Sean McDermott should have been fired 3 years ago. So I don't feel sorry for the Bills, and I damn sure don't feel sorry for a billionaire. And I damn sure don't feel sorry for this dumbass, dementia-ridden Terry Pagula. Sounds like Grandpa's missing again. Grandpa's going off the rails again. Hide the keys, Deborah. Embarrassing. That's all for the show. Always have a PSA, but fuck it. Why not? You got ICE out there still doing their bullshit. They are holding kids hostage to force their parents out. You got presidents mistaking Greenland for Iceland. All of a sudden, that doesn't want Greenland anymore. Got us pulling out of the World Health Organization. Wants to pull out of NATO. Wants to do all of these things. All of this fodder that's happening in our news cycle. But yet the Epstein files are still not released. Interesting. ICE agents, their budget raised another $10 billion. And you have corporate Dems that signed off on it too. Are you starting to realize what's going on yet, people? I talked about this last week or a few weeks ago, is that if you're a Democrat and you support the moderate Democrats that are out there destroying this country just as bad as the other party is, then you're a part of the problem. It's the Munchausen by proxy, right? Make somebody sick and make them have to come back to you so you can take care of them. We see what ICE is doing out there, people. 70% of ICE detainees do not have a criminal record. Just remember that. If it was flipped, and people can be like, all right, cool, that's fine. It's not. Why you got them trying to charge Don Lemon for just being a reporter on the scene? You got people getting pepper sprayed and tear gassed in the streets. You got you tear gassing 6-month-old babies. Wake up. Understand what's in front of you. Things are going to get a lot worse. Stock market is being manipulated. Why? So people can be able to manipulate the market and buy when it's low. Sink the economy. Make sure the economy continues to drop, so the 1% can be able to buy things up. Making us pariahs on the world stage and isolating America so there are no allies. To make it look a lot like that other country up there. So again, I tell you, wake up. Don't ever let nobody tell you that your vote don't matter, because it does. So, stay safe, stay cool. Peace.